Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SGTV's Premium Sports Show. My name is Calvin DeLude, and I will be joined by Zander Collins, and sadly, for the last time, our good friend Austin McConnell. It is the season finale of the student section, but that's not going to stop us from talking ball. So grab your tickets and join us in the student section. All right, boys, last night was the first round of the NFL draft, and after the first 32 picks and multiple trades, who do you have as your first round winners?
I'm going with the Jets, getting 3 first-round draft picks. We were talking right before we went live here, Zander. David Bailey at number 2, a little questionable, but still a great pick, I think. Then they also had the 16th overall pick where they got Kenyon Sadiq, and then Omar Cooper Jr. in a trade at 30, I believe. And so, yeah, 30 out of Indiana. So I think a great draft from the Jets. They had the most picks out of anybody. Like you said, bunch of trades. I think the Jets did pretty well navigating all that.
Yeah, I agree. They didn't give up too much for that package. I think a lot of people are hating on them a little bit, but I do really like what the Jets did. Xander?
I agree with the Jets pick. I think that a lot of people were questionable about the Kenyon Sadiq pick. It's kind of a luxury pick to take a tight end in the first round, but then you trade back into the first and get Omar Cooper Jr., who is one of my favorite receivers in the draft. I am going to go with my Washington Commanders, though. I was initially a little bit upset with the pick just because...
Yeah, you see, that's really funny, Zander, because actually I have a picture of Xander's exact reaction when they drafted Sonny Styles instead of Caleb Downs, and you can see the excitement in his face here.
I know, but a day removed and with 3 minutes of highlights watched, I think Sonny Styles is a great pick. Obviously, I'm going to back my Commanders, but I agree with the Jets. I think that other teams, like I will say, some teams that didn't even make picks. I think the Bills come out as a huge winner in last night's first round, trading back 3 times and just building up a bunch of assets. But I really like Sonny Styles. He's got the same broad jump as Julio Jones, the same 40 time as Bijan Robinson. He's the same height as Calvin Johnson, an athletic freak, and is going to provide some really great youth for a Washington defense that desperately needs it.
Absolutely. I mean, he had maybe the best combine we've ever seen. So just an absolute superhuman athlete, and he's going to be a big addition to that Washington defense. But I'm going to go with a different NFC East team. And it kind of pains me to say this, but I'm going to have to take the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones actually locked in last night and drafted a pretty solid first round for the Cowboys. Somehow Caleb Downs fell to them at pick 11. I mean, that's a generational safety prospect right there. He's going to lock down that secondary, which has been a big hole for Dallas the past few seasons. And then they get Malachi Lawrence later in the first round. I think it was a little bit of a reach. I probably would have taken Keldrick Faulk there, but I do really like what I saw from Malachi Lawrence. He's not as big of a priority or as big of a name coming out of University of Central Florida, so a bit of a smaller school, but I think that's a good pick for Dallas. And going back-to-back defense, a rare thing, because I was hearing before the draft they were going to trade up and take a wide receiver, which is not something the Cowboys need right now. So I respect them a lot for going back-to-back defense, and I think both those players are going to be big helps to them.
Yeah, the people I was watching the draft with last night, they were kind of like, who is this Malachi Lawrence guy? Like you said, kind of not a no-name, but like Central Florida, very smaller. It's a much smaller school, but tall, lanky edge. He's also very athletic. Great edge rusher. I think that's a great pick from the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean,
to go with that pairing with Caleb Downs.
I think Caleb Downs alone is enough to say
absolutely.
that they come out winners, because
especially at 11 too.
I think he was the number 1 ranked recruit in that class, and to fall all the way to 11, even with a knee injury, if you bank on him playing most of the season, he's gonna shore up that secondary for sure.
Yeah, no, Malachi Lawrence trying to fill that Micah Parsons hole, just a really great first round. But now let's switch it up. What team do you guys think lost the first round of the draft?
So you just name dropped the Bills. I'm going to say, as like winners maybe, but I'm going to say they are losers.
Really?
No first round pick. They only have 1 second round pick and only 1 third round pick today for the second and third round. So I'm going to say the Bills probably took the L here, just because I feel like they could have used a first round pick to kind of help maybe get them over that hump that they've been on the last 5 years in the divisional round or the AFC Championship, whatever it may be. But I'm going to say the Bills with no first-round pick and only 2 picks on day 2.
I mean, I guess I could see that. Bills haven't drafted great in the last couple of years, so I think it's good that they traded back and just kind of recouped some assets. Maybe not as many as you'd like, trading out of the first round 3 times or something like that. But I'm going to go with, speaking on the theme of Caleb Downs, the Miami Dolphins had a tragic first round. Proctor, great player, but if Downs is on the board, you got to take him. They traded out of that spot and let Dallas get him, and took someone who probably could have waited a little bit longer to take. So I'm gonna have to go with Miami. They need a lot of help, and even if they kept that pick at where Downs was, I would have liked to see them take one of the receivers that was still on the board, because right now it's Tutu Atwell and Malik Washington.
And they made that trade with the 49ers at 27 for Chris Johnson, San Diego State cornerback.
Not even
Reach
the best
there,
cornerback
Jermod
Very
McCoy. Jermod
interesting
McCoy's
pick.
still yet to hear his name called.
Yeah.
Or even Colton Hood,
Yeah.
Deion Terrell. I mean, you could even make the argument for Brandon Cisse over Johnson.
I don't know if I would, but I mean, there were plenty of great corners on the board, and then they reached for the guy out of San Diego State, and then Proctor, a great player. I don't think it's great value at that pick.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, I'm going to disagree with the Bills' take. I think that they've been really smart with their trading. There are two positions I think they really need going into the season are cornerback and wide receiver. And this is such a deep class. They can get more picks and draft those guys in the second round.
They do have the 3rd pick in the 2nd round, so.
Yeah, so I mean, they're going to get right to it. I'd be really surprised if they trade that one. And
You said receiver? Mm-hmm. Denzel Boston.
That's what I'm saying. Denzel Boston is still on the board, despite my many predictions that he was going to get drafted last night at our SGTV watch
Finally
party.
got Omar Cooper at
But
30.
the team that I have losing the first round has to be the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, Ty Simpson.
That was the worst pick of the night.
Yeah, that was bad.
I do not understand it. You get this high first-round pick after the season that they had last year. I mean, one more solid player. I'm thinking, go Kenyon Sadiq. You get a wide receiver because Puka Nacua is kind of a question mark going into that season. Get an edge guy, really stack up that D-line. And they go Ty Simpson when you have Matt Stafford playing maybe
MVP ball.
I mean, he just won an MVP at 37 years old, and you go ahead and draft for the future. When you guys are in a win now situation, you have the team to do it now. All you need is one more piece.
Yeah, McVay
And
was
they
not
go
happy.
Ty
Yeah, he was
Simpson.
not
And
happy.
all the videos I've seen, you can tell Sean McVay did not want that pick.
Nope.
I don't know if it was the Rams general manager.
You were mentioning that last
I don't
night.
know if it was.
had to have been something overhead.
Well, I was. I saw a post. Apparently, Ty Simpson's dad is tight with the Rams general manager. And when he wasn't sure if he was going to declare for the draft, he reached out to him and asked, "Do you think Ty is ready for the draft?" And he said, "Yeah, declare for the draft."
I did not hear
So,
that. That's very interesting.
very, very interesting situation there.
Yeah.
It brings me nothing but joy to see the Cardinals kind of a reach on Jeremiah. Not a reach, but
not what they needed.
Not what they
Yeah.
needed with Jeremiah Love at 3, and then the Rams fumbling the bag, and you have a top 15 pick as the second best team in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
And so it really makes me happy, but just an absolutely terrible pick from the Rams. But let's move on from NFL and talk playoffs. We are currently in the midpoint of the first round for NBA and NHL, but let's start with NBA. What current series has surprised you guys the most so far?
Yeah, I was going to start with the Pistons and Magic, but now looking at the bracket again, I got to go Knicks-Hawks. I thought, I talked about it last week on our show, talking about how I thought it was going to be closer than people expected, but I did not think Atlanta would go up 2-1 so early. I thought they would kind of keep it close, maybe have it 1-1, then 2-2, but I still think the Knicks will pull it out, but last couple games have been rough for New York, so that's really surprised me so far.
Yeah, they've been awful in fourth quarters. In that game that Atlanta came back in game 2, they were up, I want to say 15 or something. The Hawks went on like a 17-0 run.
Yeah.
We were
Last
all
night, the
watching it
Knicks
at
were down
Flugie's
the whole
house.
game.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, man, he's been playing really well down the stretch. So is CJ McCollum, who has literally been the closer for them in that entire series. Two really
he's been
close
great,
games between the last 2 games that Atlanta was able to take. I know we all thought it would be a close series, but like you said, I don't think we expected the Hawks to be coming out swinging
Yeah.
like that. We knew it would be a series that goes
Especially
maybe
in New York.
to
Yeah.
6 or 7 games. But, I mean, Atlanta at home now, so they've got a chance to use that home court advantage. It
Won
was
last
really
night.
big for them to split in New York. But I'm going to go to the Western Conference and say that my biggest surprise so far is the Rockets and the Lakers series. Obviously, no KD in the first game, and the Lakers are dealing with injury, so... And it could have gone either way in that first game, but Lakers do take that one, and then they take another one. So they go perfect in Houston. Or, no, Houston's
it
a
was
5
in
seed.
LA,
So they were in
yeah.
LA, my fault. But still, LeBron at 40, what is he, 41?
Yeah.
Putting up
Back pocket
28.
Bronning it, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
putting up 28 in that second game. Marcus Smart, of all people, started with 12 of their first 15 points in the game. So, I mean, the players that we had question marks around all season on whether or not they could step up. I feel like the Lakers always have big names as
They
role
are stepping
player
up here.
role player guys. So like even DeAndre Ayton's having a pretty decent series, and he's been not very great all season. The Rockets, one of the best defensive teams in the league, are letting LeBron and Marcus Smart of all people do whatever they want. So, and without Luka or Austin Reeves. So this team could get scary if they're able to hold off the Rockets for a while, let some of their guys get healthy, and maybe even make some noise in the next round.
Yeah, LeBron's taking over right when it matters most. If he can keep playing like this until Luka and Reeves get back, then, like you said, I think the Lakers are a very scary team. But when you're talking about scary teams, you can't not mention the OKC Thunder. And that's the series that surprised me the most. Not because of the fact that the Thunder are up 2-0, but because of the blasphemous officiating.
But is that a surprise when you're talking about the Thunder?
No, I really just want to talk about how horrible it is. So Devin Booker gets called for multiple technical fouls. He gets called offensive fouls for, what is it, like outlandish plays or something?
It was an offensive foul on Booker going up against Caruso. Caruso flops, isn't even touched. And they call it an offensive foul. And then right on the other side of the floor.
And then SGA is driving right into one of the...
Colin Gillespie.
Yeah, and they call that a defensive foul, and SGA, no surprise, gets free throws. But so now Devin Booker in the post-game presser, rightfully so, calls out James Williams, says he has a terrible performance, and gets fined $35,000. And now, if I'm Devin Booker, I'm not just calling out his name. I'm dropping that man's home address. I am dropping that man's mom's like credit card number, his social security. I'm doxing that man to the absolute most, because at the end of the day, it's not going to make a difference in the series. But D-Book's got to get some respect from these referees, because he is an elite player in this league, and they are not showing him the respect that he deserves.
And at the end of the day, it's not going to be a close series anyway.
So you might as well just make the right calls.
Right. I mean, I don't mind if you call something a certain way, but make sure you do it for both sides.
Yeah.
And that's been a problem throughout the playoffs. I'll even say the Timberwolves have benefited from that in the series against Denver. There have been so many no calls. They let them play, and then the next game they're like, oh, let's not let them play. Like Devin Booker said, this can't be happening on national TV.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everybody is watching this product. Adam Silver's wondering why the ratings are going down. It's because the officiating has, quite frankly, been awful all season.
Yeah.
It's just
to the benefit of my team, to the detriment of my team. I just want to see some consistency.
Yeah, that is the biggest problem. Whether you make the right calls or not, you've got to be consistent in how you're calling the game. You can't say that's a foul and the exact same thing happens 5 minutes later and it's not. I mean, that really is the biggest problem. But that's all we're going to talk about for NBA. Let's move over to NHL with the same question. What series has surprised you guys the most?
I think the unanimous decision is Philly over Pittsburgh going up 3-0, but I'm gonna. I mean, I could say the whole bracket. I mean, the NHL playoffs have been wild in a good way.
A lot of fun.
Dallas
so far.
retaking the series lead 2-1 after getting blown out in Game 1. Vegas and Utah tied up at 1 apiece. The Kings have kept it close, but it looks like the Avalanche are probably going to sweep. But
yeah, my take from last week's not looking too great right now.
Yeah, but they put up a great fight, and it's okay because I had Carolina and Ottawa going to 7, and Carolina's also
kind of
so
stomping in Ottawa. Yeah, I almost said that because
Yeah.
it's just I'm surprised that Ottawa's not putting up more of a fight.
And again, a
season.
close game. Two really boring teams, to be honest with you, with the way they play, just dump and chase. But the most surprising one for me has been Buffalo and Boston. I thought Boston was going to take it last night in TD Garden for Game 3. Buffalo ends up getting the win, a huge win for Buffalo because we didn't really know how good they'd be coming in. We didn't know what kind of firepower they had after missing the playoffs for the last 14 years. We didn't know if they'd come in and, kind of crap the bed and look scared and look like have those nervous tendencies where you're turning the puck over. But they went into a rowdy Boston environment last night with a scrappy Bruins team, and they got the win, so they're up 2-1 in the series.
Yeah, and you really didn't know what the Sabres were, especially considering their Game 1 victory was kind of a last-minute choke from Boston more than an impressive finish from Buffalo. Not to say that it wasn't impressive, because they did play really well in the last chunk of that game. But, like you said, a convincing win in a tough place to play. But like you already said, I know this is Xander's
my
take
pick
too.
as well. I was happy to know that what I picked was consistent
Unanimous.
with the two hockey guys.
I mean, Pens versus Flyers. The Battle of Pennsylvania could be Sidney Crosby's final season, if not his final season, maybe his last appearance in the playoffs. Yeah. And you're down 3-0 to the Flyers, who have been nothing but poverty for the past few seasons. I mean, this is crazy.
It says it here in your notes. Got schmacked in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, Game 1 was close, and then got schmacked in games 2 and 3. That is how I wrote it. Yeah, I mean, just very, very, very surprised by that series. It is.
I mean, for the generation of hockey players I do know from growing up with, like Crosby and Ovechkin, this is a bad look for I think the both of them in the way that their teams are performing in their last few seasons. Obviously, Ovi has the goal record to look back on, but what does Crosby have to look back on, really?
I mean, he won a Stanley Cup.
They haven't won a first round since 2016.
That is
17,
true.
something like
I
that.
think
So
since
it's
they won the
it's
Stanley
been a while. Yeah.
In the latter half of their careers, Ovi's got the goal record, and what does Crosby have in that conversation?
Yeah.
Nothing
A
really.
lot of first-round exits.
Right.
Yeah, man.
A lot of trips to Cancun.
And another player who I've kind of seen not performing to the best of their ability in this postseason has been Connor McDavid. We've
Yeah.
been seeing him make a lot of really boneheaded errors
Yeah.
in that series against the
Ducks.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Did you guys see that play in the Flyers game? I'm not going to know the player's name, but he passed it to himself off the boards and then dished it off for an assist.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not, I can't remember who
Brendan
did that.
Doherty of the Daily Gamecock was showing me. He's a huge Flyers fan.
Yeah.
And I don't watch a lot of hockey, but that did impress me.
No, yeah. I mean, the Flyers look great right
Yeah, I'll say another player that impressed me is Porter Martone, the rookie for the Flyers, just called
Yeah.
up a few months ago. He has been absolutely balling. Well, pucking, I guess. But yeah, he's been absolutely
He's been
lethal on the
skating.
ice. He's got a wicked wrist shot. And for a team that barely even made the playoffs, it came down to like the last couple nights of the season that the Flyers sneaked their way in, and now they're about to sweep the Penguins, which makes me happy because as a Cavs fan, I'm not quite too fond of Sidney Crosby, but we're not even in the playoffs, so I can't say too much.
Right.
Perfect. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to end the season with the same amount of hardware. But
Yeah.
moving on from that now, we have our final fun segment of the season, guys, and it is Stat or Cap, presented by our great producer, Emma George. Welcome back. So, very simple. We're going to say a stat, and we're going to say if it's a stat or if it's cap. So let's get going.
All right, bet.
First on the board, or how to play, we will list a wild sports fact. You tell me if it's the real deal. Stat or total lie. Cap. LSU player. All right, here we go. Former MLB player Moises Alou used to pee on his hands before every single game.
Okay.
That is disgusting.
It's very disgusting,
Did she
but I
come
feel
up
like
with this if it's not real?
Yeah.
I think
Emma that
maybe
creative?
like helps his hand stick to the bat.
No, I'm going to say stat for this. I'm pretty sure I've heard this before. I think this
I'll
is
say
true.
stat. I feel like
And she looks
really
proud of herself
disgusting,
right now.
but-
This is a niche poll. So.
Pee on your hands? No way. I'm gonna say cap.
Great Cornholio needs more TP for his bunghole. Answer is stat, baby!
That's so
Oh
nasty.
man, that is nasty.
That's so
Get
gross.
some TP for this guy.
I don't know what's
Yuck.
worse, that he actually did that, or if Emma would have come up with him.
Yeah, right.
I
If
don't know which one
was-
would have been worse.
If I
That's
was,
why I was like,
him,
I don't know. I don't know.
did he wear gloves too?
I don't know.
Did he just pee on his hands for the love of the
pee-pee
game? Well, because what I would do is I would pee on my hands and then touch the ball each time, and the pitcher would be like, I don't want to touch it, and so he'd like throw some stinkers. Anyway, all right, so Austin and I got one, Zander has 0. Now, next up, NFL referees are strictly required to wear black underwear while on the job just in case they split their pants.
I think I've heard about this. This is stat.
That sounds true.
I'll go
I'll
stat.
say stat as well.
Yeah, I'll go stat, so
Because
that-
a lot of those guys are like part-time refs, like full-time lawyers. So
Yeah.
Really?
Can't be like embarrassing them. Well, that's why they've got all these
Gotta
replacement
embarrass you,
refs
Barry.
coming in this season because they're too busy focused on their law jobs. Like, just make them full-time referees, man. Like, when they're not working,
Pay
just
'em enough.
have them,
Let's see it.
Anyway. Stat!
Yeah.
So
I'm on the board.
Austin and I, 2 for 2. You got 1 for 2.
I
Let's
just
move
didn't want
on.
to believe that, dude.
No, it's nasty. All right, MLB player Babe Ruth used to wear a chilled cabbage leaf under his hat during games, and he would swap it for a fresh one every 2 innings.
That's got to be cap.
That's got to be cap because Emma, like, once again, looks way too proud of herself for coming up with that. It does sound real, I will say.
Yeah.
If it's cap, I'm very impressed. I'm gonna say cap here just because we started off with 2 stats,
I agree.
and that does sound really real. But I'm gonna say cap.
That sounds like a little too niche, too weird. Like,
Yeah, and
I
like
mean, the P one was crazy. I can't
Emma's
believe that.
cracking herself up behind the camera right now,
Hey.
and
Chilled cabbage leaf.
chilled.
I'm
So,
gonna say
what-
stat because there's no way that she came up with chilled cabbage leaf. That's just too good.
I don't know. I think
How-
it's too
how
weird.
would
That
they-
way, if I get it, I'm tied up with you.
How would they keep it chilled? Like, do they just have like a
Dude,
cooler?
he would swap it out every 2 innings.
No, I know, but what I'm saying
did this.
is, did they have a cooler? Did they have a cooler and put all the cabbage leaves in the cooler?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
we're about to see
no.
if it's stat or cap. Stat or cap, and it is stat.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, man. Shout out Babe Ruth and
All
his
right.
chilled cabbage
We
cap.
are
I've
tied
never heard of
up
that.
at 2-2-2. Sahur.
Shake your hat.
All right.
Triple T.
Triple T and double R. In 1988, a Red Sox player was ejected from a game because his pet ferret escaped his jersey and ran onto
Cap.
the field
That's
during a
so cap.
stolen base attempt.
That's so cap.
Yeah, that's got to be cap.
As soon as I heard
Did
the
you
word
write
ferret,
that?
she did,
Oh, yeah.
Cap.
She literally just told us
It's
it's
cap.
cap. That's got to be cap.
but we knew. That was
Yeah.
as soon as I saw the word ferret, I was
Ferret
like,
in
There's
his
no
jersey?
way I would have never seen that before.
Yeah.
The amount
Ferret
of
in his jersey.
the amount of videos
Yeah.
I've seen, like animal encounters during MLB games,
Yeah.
and not once have I seen this ferret. I've seen players like phones fall out of their pocket while they're stealing, but
or like
yeah,
a
that's
bird,
a bear. R.I.P. That Randy Johnson bird, man. That was brutal.
freaking cannon.
Okay. NBA legend Dennis Rodman once missed a playoff practice because he was legally trapped in a professional wrestling match that went into triple overtime. Legally trapped?
No
That's
shot.
cap. That's
no
cap.
shot. That's so cap.
That's cap.
I'm gonna go stat here, just to switch it up. Why not?
You're so
I should have
dumb.
said cap.
So
bro.
dumb.
I don't know why. Like I was like,
You're
oh,
so dumb.
bro. I don't know.
Why would the team let him
Legally
do that?
trapped.
Bro, they let that man just go to Vegas for like a week and like not say anything.
Not go to WrestleMania and
Bro,
do
and he
triple
still went to
overtime.
WrestleMania
You
all
think
the
he
time.
would? You think he would take a professional wrestler to 3 overtimes?
Well, I don't like, dude. You know wrestling's a joke, so it's like,
Whoa.
sorry, WWE's.
How about I wrestle you and you tell me if it's a joke?
I would prefer not to do that because I would probably laugh. All
So
right.
what? We're 3-3.
Yeah, that is the last question. So
Oh.
you guys, all right, you guys are the
wait.
winners.
We're done.
But I want to come up with some sort of tiebreaker here. Are you guys interested in doing a tiebreaker or just having
Yeah,
me be
sure.
the big loser?
Yeah, I mean,
Calvin's
you'll be a
tonight's
loser.
big loser.
You'll be the loser either way, but I'm down for
yeah,
tiebreaker.
I was about to say.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up a niche stat, and you guys are gonna have to guess.
Somebody
if
play
it's
the
real.
Jeopardy theme.
Niche stats. Baseball. We'll do football. All right. Okay, I can't find anything. All right, I'm
Producer
gonna do a
Emma's
niche.
telling us to stop.
I'm gonna do a
whistling.
niche stat about me when I played hockey, and you guys are gonna guess if it's real or not.
If it's good, cap. If it's
Yeah.
bad, fact.
Okay.
I rode the bench every game.
I won Summer League MVP, even
cap.
though I had the worst save percentage in the league.
I'll let you pick first since it's your last episode, and I'll just choose the other option.
Just because I like you, we'll go stat.
And because I hate him, I'll go cap.
Well, that is a stat. I won Summer League MVP, even though I had the worst save percentage in the league, because the owner of the rink felt bad for me that my team was so garbage that she pulled some strings and got me MVP.
I would have just left it at MVP.
Like,
I would have
Yeah,
told
I
him
wouldn't.
stat-
I wouldn't have
stat
told
story.
anybody that.
No, dude, my team was terrible.
I'm not gonna lie, I
I
wouldn't
was
have told-
facing like 45 shots a game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have
bad.
probably never told anybody. I would have took that to the grave.
Like that's fine. I've already revealed more embarrassing things on this show about
Yeah.
me and my fit.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Go. going out on top.
Yeah, going out on a bang.
Yeah.
Austin.
Final win, yes,
Yeah,
let's go.
that's pretty much everything we have for you guys today. But Austin, it really has been a pleasure doing this show
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
Co-creator.
I can't thank this club and organization enough. I would love to list off all the names that have been in this community and
we ain't got
alongside
time
me,
for
and
that,
I've worked
man.
with.
He's
but
old and has
we'll be here
dementia.
for 30 minutes if I do that. So just thank you to everyone and for these 3 years. It's been great.
No, absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
We love you. We love you to bits and pieces, and definitely not going to be the same show without you next year.
Thanks, guys.
But yeah, that wraps up this season of the Student Section, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you saw today, check us out on the SGTV YouTube, SGTV at USC.com, and SGTV at USC on all socials. But that's everything we have for you today. Thanks so much for joining. I'm Calvin DeLude with Zander Collins, and for the last time, Austin McConnell. We will see you next time on
The
Student Section.